Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we sift through the noise sources, articles, insider notes, and pull out exactly what you need to know.
hmm
Today, we are jumping into the wild world of football transfers, specifically the economics of it all. We're looking at striker Samu Agahawa and, well, West Ham United. Our mission here is to really trace this player's value, see how it exploded, and try to quantify something for you. What does it actually cost when clubs hesitate or, frankly, make the wrong call? Because this rumor, it's not just about a potential big transfer now. It's about West Ham maybe having to pay a huge amount extra because of a missed chance just, a year ago.
Exactly. And that's the core conflict, isn't it? West Ham, they desperately need to beef up their attack. They've got their eye on Agahawa, who seems like a perfect fit. But the kicker is the price tag now is just astronomical compared to what they could have potentially paid.
Right. It's not just an expensive story. It feels like a potentially painful lesson for their finances. We're looking at a choice last summer that might have inflated the cost by, well, nearly 6 times. Let's unpack that. Okay, so let's start with the player driving all this buzz, Samu Agahawa. You might also see him listed as Samuel Omarodion Agahawa. He's 21, a center forward, came from Atletico Madrid, but he's currently playing for Porto and absolutely tearing it up.
Tearing it up is almost an understatement. The sources all agree he's excelling, and the numbers back that up. We're talking 19 goals, 3 assists across 31 matches this season, all competitions.
Wow.
Yeah, those are the kind of stats that take a young player from just promising to suddenly being a really valuable asset on the market.
And you can see that reflected in the financials, can't you? He's got a long contract with Porto, runs until June 2029.
That 2029 date is key. It means Porto holds all the cards, really. They're in no rush. His salary right now, reported at about $1.63 million a year, it's actually not that high for someone performing like this. But it's the transfer fee, the potential fee, that's just staggering.
So what are the sources saying is the price to even get Porto to listen?
Well, the figure being widely reported, often citing journalist Ekrem Kanur, is his release clause. It's estimated at $86 million.
86 million pounds.
Which translates to almost 98.84 million, let's just call it nearly 99 million. That's the trigger price. And a clause that high, nearly 99 million, it basically tells you this isn't really a negotiation point. It's an activation fee. Porto knows he's hot property after banging 19 goals. They've priced him so only the really big clubs, the big spenders, can even consider it. You're paying for the goals he's scoring now, plus the expectation he'll keep doing it for the next, 5, 6, 7 years.
And this really hammers home why you, listening, should maybe pay attention to these massive figures. It's all about risk, isn't it?
Right.
Clubs are making these huge financial bets that a 21-year-old can sustain this incredible form for years. That kind of pressure, paying almost $99 million, it starts from day one. Okay, so that's the player side. Now let's switch focus to the club reportedly chasing him.
Wow.
West Ham United. Sources say they've got renewed interest as we look towards the summer window. But we need to talk about the why. Why the urgency from West Ham now?
Well, the urgency is driven by their situation, isn't it? They're facing, let's say, current difficulties in the Premier League. That's often code for needing results, needing goals, needing something to change the dynamic. Maybe it's about European spots. Maybe it's just about stabilizing. But their attack clearly isn't clicking the way they need it to.
Right.
So you get this pressure cooker situation. And when clubs feel that pressure, sometimes rational financial strategy goes out the window, and they start looking at paying these massive release clauses just to get a problem solved.
And you can see that reflected in the reported shortlist, too. It's not just Agahawa. They're apparently looking at guys like Jay Zirkzee, Endrick, even Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
High-profile names.
Yeah, they're definitely aiming high. But here's the thing, Agahawa isn't just sitting there waiting for West Ham. The competition is stiff. He's a wanted man. The rumors connect him strongly with other Premier League clubs, too. We're talking Newcastle, Chelsea, Spurs.
So 3 major rivals right there. That really complicates things for West Ham, doesn't it?
Massively. It's a double challenge. First, you have to be willing to fork out the near $99 million just to trigger the clause. But second, you've got to convince the player to choose your project over potentially, say, Champions League football or maybe even higher wages elsewhere.
So the actual total cost could be even higher than just the transfer fee.
Exactly. They're essentially trying to buy out the competition, both club-wise and maybe in terms of the player's own ambitions. It likely means paying a premium salary on top of that huge fee, assuming they even get him.
Okay, all right. Let's pivot here because this is where the story gets really interesting. maybe even a bit painful if you're a West Ham fan. This isn't just about a potential expensive signing now. We need to rewind. Let's talk about last summer. This is the real aha moment. The sources are pretty clear on this. Last summer, West Ham apparently had an opportunity to secure Agahawa, and the price then.
Yeah, the figure mentioned is 15 million. 15.
£15 million.
Yeah.
Just pause on that for a second. Compare that to the almost 99 million we were just discussing.
It's a staggering difference, isn't it? It screams missed opportunity. A failure of foresight, perhaps.
But it gets worse. Instead of going for Agahawa at that, let's be honest, bargain price, West Ham focused their efforts elsewhere. They went after Aston Villa's Jean Duran.
Right. And the crucial part, that move for Duran, it ultimately did not happen. It fell through.
So they passed on the 15 million player, and they failed to get the player they actually prioritized.
Precisely. It looks like a strategic misstep on multiple levels. They reject Agaha, fail on Duran, and what happens next? Agaha moves to Porto, not for 99 million, obviously, but for a much lesser fee than his current valuation. And crucially, at Porto, he gets the consistent game time he needed.
And explodes.
And explodes onto the scene. Which brings us right back to today's 99 million problem for West Ham. When you put all that history together, it really makes you question the decision-making process at the club, doesn't it? It's not just about scouting. It seems like a bigger issue of forecasting talent or maybe prioritizing targets effectively. That jump from a potential 15 million town deal they walked away from to now facing a near 99 million requirement. I mean, that gap pretty much defines the financial cost of that indecision or that mistake.
And it's not just the extra money, is it? There's the opportunity cost, too. We talked about West Ham's struggles in the league, needing attacking firepower.
Exactly. If they had spent that 15 million last summer, think about it. They would have had Agaho's 19 goals, potentially boosting their league position this season. So the cost isn't just the, 80-odd million extra they might have to pay now. It's also the potential lost points, lost prize money, maybe lost European qualification revenue, all stemming from not having that goal scorer this year.
So the failure to get Duran, combined with passing on Agahawa when he was cheap, it directly leads to this current situation. They're desperate, they face huge competition, and the price is through the roof. They didn't just miss out on a player, you could argue they kind of created their own financial headache here.
It's a textbook example, really, of how football finances can work or perhaps how they can go wrong. They're potentially looking at paying 6 times the price because they waited 12 months. In that time, the player proved his value, but he did it playing for Porto. So West Ham, if they buy him now, they're essentially paying Porto a massive premium for their own earlier oversight.
So wrapping this up, the sources paint a really stark picture. On one hand, you have Agahawa, this young striker whose value has just soared, completely validating his talent.
Yeah, a huge success story for him and for Porto.
And on the other hand, you've got West Ham, a big club needing a striker urgently, but now staring down this enormous, almost 99 million all price tag. And the painful part is, it's for the same player they could have snapped up for just £15 million a year ago.
That's the core tension right there. The player's success translates directly into a massive potential financial hit for the club that missed the boat. It shows that these transfer rumors, they're not always just about the future. Sometimes they're really stories about the long-term cost of decisions made in the past.
So here's something for you to think about after we finish. If West Ham does go ahead and spends close to 99 million on Semu Agahawa now, what does that number really represent? It's not just buying a striker, is it? It feels like it's also paying a massive, maybe 6-fold penalty for a strategic failure just 1 year prior. A cost you can measure not just in millions of euros, but perhaps in a whole season of missed goals and squandered opportunity. Something to mull over.